Om ajïäna-timirändhasya jnanāñjana-çaläkayä çakñurunmīlitam yena tasmai çré-gurave namaù çré-caitanya-mano sthapitam yena bhü-tale swayam-rūpah kada mahyam dadāti sva-padäntikam vandeham çré-guroù çré-yuta-pada-kamalam çré-gurün vaishnavamscha श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण-रघुनाथान्वितं तं sa-jévam साद्वैतं सावधूतं parijana-sahitam Krishna-chaitanya-devam Shri-Radha-Krishna-padan सहगण-lalita Shri-vishakhanvitamscha हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरत्विषे नमः. We are on chapter 8 and attaining the supreme. Bhagwan we did till slok number 8, I believe. And Bhagwan is talking about how to leave the body. I will just read all the translation one more time so that we are in sync, because it's been almost a week now. So Arjuna inquired, "O my Lord, O Supreme Person, what is Brahman? What is the self? What are the fruitive activities? What is the material manifestation? And what are the demigods? Please explain this to me. Who is the Lord of sacrifice? How does he live in the body, O Madhusudan? And how can those engaged in devotional service know you at the time of death?" This topic Bhagwan will cover very nicely in this chapter. One truth is there, we are all going to die one day. That's the only truth. Everything else, and every day we are progressing there towards death. So we came to this world, we don't know why. But if we call ourselves aware being, knowledgeable being, at least we should know how to exit from this world. We came, we don't know how, why. But when we are going, at least we should be knowledgeable enough as to how to exit. That is very important. So Bhagwan here teaches you art of leaving the world. Shri Bhagwan Uvacha, Bhagwan said, the indestructible, transcendental living entity is called Brahman. And his eternal nature is called Adhyatma, or the self. Action pertaining to the development of material bodies of living entities is called karma, or fruitive activities. So Bhagwan has defined Brahman. Brahman is Bhagwan's expansion, one part of Bhagwan, one energy. It's called super conscious energy, which is everywhere. Brahman is everything. We see everything happening in front of our eyes, and then everything goes away. Even if this world, this universe gets destructed, still Brahman, that energy, will live. Super conscious energy. So that indestructible, transcendental, living entity, it is always going to live. Living entity is called Brahman. We call ourselves living entities. One day the entity is going to go away, right? It will be only on the death certificate. So and so person lived from this time to this time. That's it. So we call ourselves a living entity, but this is an illusion. The body is going to go away. But still we are going to live. We're still going to live. That nature that sustains us, the thing that's sustaining us even without the body is Brahman. And it has an eternal nature. That eternal identity. That eternal identity is the self. So Brahman and self. We are always going to live. So when we describe Brahman, the definition of Brahman is given here in shloka number 3. Aksharam. Aksharam means it is indestructible. Param. It is the supreme. It is called Brahman. It has a nature. The nature is eternal. Svabhavo Adhyatma. That eternal nature is called the self identity. Bhut bhavod bhavat karo visarga karma sangitaha. Through this Brahman, everything is coming out. Material bodies of living entities are created, and every living entity is doing some action. Those actions are called karmas. But it starts from Brahman. Whether so-called picture of the world will be there or it will go away, Brahman is going to exist. Whether this body is going to go away, through this, in this life, whatever actions we are doing, that is our field of activities, karma. So this body goes, I still live. In my Brahma nature, I'm going to live. That is called Atma or self. Adi, Bhagavan in 4th shloka says, Adi bhutam ksharo bhava purusha Adidaivatam Adhiyagyo ahamevatra dehe deva vritamvara. O best of the embodied beings, the physical nature, which is constantly changing, is called Adibhuta, material manifestation. The universal form of the Lord, which includes all the deities, all the devatas, like those of the sun and the moon, is called Adidaiva. And I, the Supreme Lord, represented as the super soul in every heart of every embodied being, am called Adhiyagya. So Bhagavan is taking 3 more words. First was Adhyatma, which is the self, Brahman, the nature of the self, nature of the Brahman, which is the self, it is Adhyatma. Second, he says Adi Bhautik, Adi Bhut, Adi Bhut. Adi Bhut means this physical world. The nature of this physical world is there is always going to be change. Adi Bhutam Ksharo Bhava. The nature of Brahma is, it is never going to change, it's going to remain like that. But this Prakriti, Adi Bhut, it's always going to change. So Adi Bhutik. And Purushascha Adi Daivatam. This whole world, whatever universe you see, just our earth, okay, whatever universe you see is, we think, we imagine it as, we visualize it as the universal body of God, universal body of Krishna. Now this whole entire universe, which is the universal body, Virat Swarup, there are different things that are controlling this universe. We call them as deities. Who controls the sun? It comes in the morning, sets in the evening by itself. We think like that. But there is a deity we call Surya Bhagavan. There is energy, Surya, that makes the sun come on time and go on time. As long as the earth will be there, It will continue. The moon will come on time, will go on time. Some energy, some entity is doing it. We call them Devi or Devta. Chandradev, Suryadev. Sun god is Suryadev. Nature, seasons come and go. Sun changes its position in 12 months. So different sun has different names for those 12 months because 12 different deities are coming. Bara Aditya. So different deities. The wind is blowing by itself. It doesn't stop. As long as the earth is going to be there, it will be there. Who is making it blow? Some deity. We call it Vayudev. Some energy. Oceans. We call Varunadev. You see the ocean? Can you imagine the globe? When I was young, I used to always think of the globe. When I heard that the globe is rotating and it's going around the sun, I used to be like, wow. And then you look at the globe and there is ocean, like 70% is covered by ocean. So the earth is rotating, but the oceans are not crossing their border. Shouldn't everything just go, like, get inside the ocean? If there is a ball and you pour water on that ball, first of all, how the ball is holding the water? So earth is like a ball and there is water on the earth and it is rotating. So you take a ball, pour water on the ball, the water will first of all fall. Second, somehow if you do some experiment and anti-gravity or something you create, and the earth is, and the ball is there and the water is there, and then you're twisting the ball and rotating the ball. Still, whatever is the borderline of the ocean, that borderline of the ocean is not crossing. If it did every day, we would be in the ocean. We'll be like, how? Who is doing that? Some great energy is making it happen. Varunadev, Vayudev, Varunadev, Suryadev, Agnidev. Things in this world, every second somebody is taking birth, somebody is dying. Who is taking care of all the death? We are not going and cleaning those places where animals are dying in the tropical forest or in the deserts. A snake dies, it decomposes by itself, and nobody knows. A dog will die, if nobody touches, still the body will get decomposed. After some time, that body will not be there at all. The bones will be gone too, somewhere. Who is doing that intelligent work? Death, Yamadev. These are different deities. Fire element. It's all there inside the earth. Sometimes you go in New York, there are some waterfalls. I forgot the name of the place. So in that waterfalls, people go to see one flame, eternal flame. This eternal flame is in everywhere, every place. So people go to see that eternal flame. It's in New York. There are waterfalls, and then in the waterfall, there is a mountain area, and there's one eternal flame. How is it happening? Agni, Dev. We go to Yamunotri, Gangotri, Kedarnath, those areas, Ganges, those are always with snow, 12 months. Temperatures could go well below, negative temperatures. In that place, Yamunotri or Gangotri, also where the temples are built, there is one kund, one river area, where the river water is hot in Yamunotri. Everywhere else it is cold. Everywhere else cold. It's like natural hot springs over there in Yamunotri, in Gangotri, so, even in Badrinath. So we have to first take bath in that hot water. In fact, people take rice and they take rice in a cloth and they put it in that hot water, and that rice will get semi-cooked. People do that. So Yamunotri, I've seen that. I've been to those areas. In that mountain, such hot water. That means there is heat inside the earth. And everywhere else it's cold. But this water, this hot water is contained in that particular area. How? Who is doing that? Who is that intelligent force? Means the Varuna Devata and the Agni Dev are in sync with each other. They are controlling it. If that hot water starts blowing everywhere, everything will be, destroyed in few seconds. Every day the sun comes, people get up, we get the energy. Night we forget ourselves. Who is making us forget? Who is making us get up? Somebody inside. This body, every day, from the day I entered my mother's womb till now, it is growing by itself. I never told my body, grow up, become this, that. No, it grew up by itself. Somebody is taking care of this body. Some energies. Those are devatas. We are being protected everywhere. Some accidents happen and we are saved. And we just come out of that, those untouched, unharmed. Who did it? We plan every day so many things, but something else happens in our lives. Somebody else is planning. Who is doing that? All these things that who in different aspects, that those are called devatas. And these are called Adidaiva. They are all part of this universal form of God. So Bhagavan said that is Adidaiva. As I told you, my body is growing every day and decaying every day. Hair is falling. Bones are going away. Who is doing that? Adibhautik, physical. And inside, when I'm sleeping, I slept. When I got up, I got. When I have memory, I remember. When I don't have memory, I forget. Who is doing all that? Inside the heart, Adhyagya, Bhagwan. So, 4 concepts have been given to us here. Adibhautik, Adidaivik, Adhyatmik. Adibhautik is related to this physical body. Adidaivik is related to all the devatas in the universe. And Adhyatmik is that Akshar Brahma, that self, which is indestructible. Everything else is changing, but that Brahma is not changing. And in all these 3 things, there is one more thing, Adiyagya, who is sitting in the heart as Paramatma. He is the one who is enjoying everything. So these are 4 technical terms you have learned. It's necessary for spiritual students. This book is also science. If you understand Adibhautik, Adidaivik, Adhyatmik, you will understand a lot of things in other books too. Build your vocabulary, I always say. To understand, this is spiritual science. So you have to build our vocabulary. So Brahma, you must know what is Brahma. Paramatma, when I say Paramatma, your mind should know. Now it's not some other entity. The one in your heart is Paramatma. Its other name is Adiyagya. That is what is given here. He is Adiyagya. So one name is Paramatma, one name is Adiyagya. When I say Brahma, you must know what is Brahma. Brahma is that entity which is everywhere, in everything, whether living or non-living, it is there. Its other name is Parabrahma. So Brahma, Parabrahma, superconscious energy, all one name. Paramatma, Adhiyagya, one name. They mean the same. Adibhautik, related to the physical body, physical elements, Bhautik, Bhut. And Adidaivik, related to Devatas. So 4 technical terms you learn today. In our books, there are always, they say Tapatraya. There are 3 kinds of suffering. Every person will go through those 3 types of suffering. You cannot escape them. You cannot escape them. So Tapatraya. So the word is Tapa. Tapa means suffering. Traya, 3. 3 types of suffering. What are the 3 types of suffering? Adibhautik, Adidaivik Adhyatmik. Adibhautik, suffering with the self body. These are all connected together, okay? These are all connected together. If one system is suffering, the other might suffer. So some people might look very good in their health, everything is very good. But if there are changes in the season, the body will suffer. The weather suddenly goes cold and you are like having allergies and sneezing continuously. So Adibhautik suffering is happening all the time. Adidaivik suffering is also happening all the time because of the changing, because of the external things. And the third thing is Adhyatmik. Adhyatmik is because the nature of the self is this Brahman. Brahman is consciousness. So some people may be looking very healthy from outside, but internally in their consciousness, they are suffering. The consciousness has, what are they suffering in their consciousness? Consciousness has seeds of fear. From childhood, you have developed fear for things. You go to some places and you're like, I am fearing. You're fearing about future. Seeds of fear, even though fear, there is no such thing called fear. The only way to overcome fear is to face the fear. But people are suffering inside. Fear. People are suffering inside with some grief. Seeds of grief. They don't know, but it happens. People are suffering inside because of anger. Seeds of anger. So much of anger, they hold on to them. Suffering. So those are the suffering of the consciousness, of the heart. That is Adhyatmik. So 3 types of suffering: the bodily suffering, the suffering of your consciousness, and the suffering of the external conditions. These are always going to be there. Everything might look perfect outside, but if everything is bad, then you will see the reactions in your body also. So many knots will happen. This is the nature. But beyond all these things, there is one person who is always inside the heart. He is the one who takes up all the sacrifices. He is the God of all sacrifices. That is Adhyagya, that is Bhagwan, that is Paramatma. That is what Bhagwan is saying. So these are some technical terms that you must know. Bhagwan says, despite all these sufferings, the body is going to go one day. So what you must do, Arjun? Antakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram ya prayati samadbhavam yati nastyatra sanchaya. Whoever at the end of his life quits his body, remembering me alone, O Arjun, he attains my nature. Of this there is no doubt. So Bhagwan is now giving us the goal, explained in the last class also. The goal is to remember Krishna at the end of the life. What if we don't remember Krishna? What will happen? Bhagwan gives answer. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajat ante kalevaram tam tam taiveti kaunteya sada tad bhava bhavita. Whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, O son of Kunti, that state he will attain without fail. So at the end of the body, at the end of the life, if your mind is stuck on something, the time of death is very important, I've learned it by being with people who are dying. I have spent time seeing what they do at the time of death. When I was young, because my teacher told me, go and see. I thought remembering God will be very easy. When Bhagwan said, at the time of our death, you should just remember me. I said, but that will be very easy. You'll remember him. And I was very young, inexperienced of life. Now with experience, I can say it is very difficult. You will only remember things what you have been thinking all the time. I was reading one experience of an ISKCON devotee. She went through a near-death experience. Even though throughout her life, she was a great chanter, doing everything properly, however it is said to be. But her mind was always stuck in her mother while living. So it so happened, God was very kind on her. It so happened she had some disease, and because of that, her blood count went down, and then she was admitted in the hospital, and she had her near-death experience. And while in her near-death experience, she said that even though I practiced this throughout my life, but at that moment, I was only thinking of my mother, because I was so attached to my mother. Though my mind is saying, remember Krishna, but my mind always went and got stuck to my mother. But luckily, there was some nurse who was a Muslim nurse. This lady is from Kazakhstan. Some Muslim nurse was there, and they hate, even they don't even want to use their names, Krishna names. Then this lady is on the deathbed, and she's hearing the nurse is saying, oh, she's that from that Krishna consciousness. So this lady in the deathbed hears the name Krishna. Now she wants to remember Krishna. It's very difficult though, because the medicines are also acting. And then the doctor comes. Somewhere the doctor comes and he knows Jagannath and Baldev, and the doctor starts talking about that. And while she's on the deathbed, she's remembering them. And she came out of her experience. But then she quoted this experience for this to help people what your consciousness is. We say, I have to be God conscious, I have to be remembering God, but at the same time, we build our attachment so strong, it becomes very difficult at the time of death. But luckily, because she had did the hard work, whatever it was, Bhagavan says, if somebody has done the hard work, I will take care. So for her, God took care. But for them who have not done this work, I saw one old lady on the deathbed, and she's suffering, and then she starts shouting, oh, take care of that broom. Take care of that broom, the cow will come and eat it up. And in my head, I'm thinking, Ma, you're going to go. And you're thinking of the broom, and I'm thinking of this shloka, what my guru is saying. You have to remember Krishna. So I'm telling, remember Krishna, remember Krishna. What? I'm talking about the broom, Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Remember the broom, remember the broom. You tell them, remember Krishna, and they're remembering the broom. The mop by which they're going to mop the floor. How important is that mop? The cow will eat it up. So this person, if they're going to leave the body, their consciousness is in that mop, in that particular area where the cow is going to eat. So what will happen? They'll come back there itself to guard the mop or the broom. I saw people, they were saying things which was probably a well-kept secret while they were alive and when they were in their senses. Old people, they have some keep somewhere. They're talking about that. They've hidden money, gold somewhere. From the family, they've hidden it. They're talking about that because their mind is right now going there. So I realized when you are at that deathbed, looking at others, you can learn a lot. This could be your situation. And as we started aging and started looking at old people, what are they talking all the time? What do they do? Old people whose responsibilities are gone now, what are they doing? Men will be reading only newspapers or news. Women also do the same thing. News, TV, this, that. What is the consciousness? So when Bhagavan says here, whoever quits at the end of his life, if he remembers me, I realized from all these people, old age, disease people near death. Yes, it is not easy to remember God if you have not practiced it. And if you have sincerely practiced it, then God will, even though you may be at the stage where you cannot chant God's name, but God will take care of you. God will make all arrangements for you, that you will think of him and he will come. So My guru taught me one thing. Throughout life is a preparation, death is an examination. And I'm telling you, this I have taken it very seriously in my life. After that, I lost interest in everything. Nothing excited me. Very young age. And I'm so thankful to that teaching. Life is a preparation, death is an examination. And death can come anytime. And what you have to do? You have to remember God at the time of death. I don't want to be, and I took it very seriously. I'm telling you, nothing else then tempted me. Nothing else. I left my job. God's blessing in disguise. I came to America, blessing after blessing. There were temptations. People instilling fear in you, go back to job. I'm like, no. God will take care of it. I know that for sure. I am taking this statement very seriously. I want to practice. I want to be with God. I want to be God conscious all the time. Whatever it takes. I kept repeating. Life is preparation, death is examination. Life is preparation, death is examination. Have you remembered God yet? Have you remembered God yet? Think of God, think of God. You're every single moment, God has to be inside you. If you are forgetting God, then what a waste of life. I used to talk all this to myself to keep myself in the zone. It is very easy to get carried away by the glamour of the world. Very easy, especially when you come to America, more easier. You've come here, the philosophy is very different here. More easier. But when you have set your mind on God and taken this statement clearly, and that faith, sometimes some doubt would creep up in the head. Oh, I am practicing so much. But what if I die in coma? Or what if death can come anyways? Who knows? On a street, it just comes. So many devotees have died just like that in untimely in our language. It is not untimely. Everything is timely, but we feel untimely. What will happen then? But then when I looked into the scriptures, and Bhagavan is given so much promises. Bhagavan's words keeps you going. That you're on the right path, you're on the right path, you're on the right path. Do not fear, do not fear, do not fear. You're not going to lose anything. Every word in Gita. So many beautiful sentences he has spoken. Every time, if I felt, like little down, whether I'm following the right thing or not, I don't know. My loved ones would come, my relatives, my family people who know me very well. They're like, you're so intelligent. You're so highly educated. What are you doing sitting at home? What is there to chant the whole day? You've gone mad. Why are you thinking of God all the time? You should just go to work. You'd be earning so much this time. You're losing millions of dollars by not earning. All your education wasted. My own people have told me this. They didn't realize what I was undergoing inside. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. What am I losing? What am I not? Preparation of that consciousness was very important to me. I cannot die like everybody else has died. I cannot die in a materialistic consciousness. I cannot. Whatever it is, I will try my best. People would challenge, Oh, this devotee died like that devotee died like that. So what? Doesn't matter. I have to be sincere to God. That's about it. Is God seeing my efforts? That's about it. And God has promised. God's promises. When God promises, it is truth. Bhagwan ka naam hai Satya Sankalp. He's called Satya Sankalp. Whatever he has spoken is truth. I have understood the Gita. I have seen people have gone crazy after money. I have seen people have gone crazy after what not they want and achieved in life. But yet, they are so stressed all the time. They never feel content. No matter how many houses they have, how many properties they have, how much money they have, they're never content. And which way they are going to go, I understand through Gita. So people will challenge, oh, you want to become lazy, you don't want to work. No, I'm working harder than you. It is very easy to go to an office and distract your mind in all the conversation, and if there is no work, sit on the laptop and do something. It's very easy to distract. Sit like me for 8 hours. Practice your mind that it does not get distracted and it is only on God. See how hard that work is. I'm not a lazy person. I'm not sleeping. You will go to work, you'll come back, you'll sleep. I have lost my sleep because God is the only thing that I want. So it is not laziness going on the path of God. You have to be very serious. This is most serious path. You cannot play around here in that sense. Though it is very playful, but you have to be serious. You have to remember God. You have to take the words of God seriously. What's the point of reading Gita and then, I remember all the shlokas? No. Practice. So when Bhagavan says, whoever at the end of his life quits his body, remembering me alone, at once attains my nature of this, there is no doubt. Then there is no doubt. There is no doubt. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tejatante kalevram tam taiveti kaunteya sada tad bhava bhavita. Whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, O son of Kunti, he will remain without fail. And my guru gave the example of swimmer. They like swimming while they're alive. And, when you become a little aged, you can't swim every time. They're surfers. They can't surf. But at the time of death, if they remember of surfing, I want to enjoy that again, they'll come back again as a coastal animal, as a coastal person living in that coastal areas, or they might come as an animal in the ocean. They will come. Some people who are very attached to the property, my walls. I build these walls with my hard-earned money, with my sweat and blood. And when they're leaving, I have to leave everything and go. My home, these walls, these bricks, this cement I built, and they're lying they leave the body. They'll come back. Lizards stuck to the wall. So these are the things, it is written in our scriptures. Okay. So you have to take seriously. It might be very frightening to hear. Will I become a lizard? Will I become a crow? Will I become this? It's very frightening to hear. But what's the point of getting scared? Bhagavan has given you the way, na? Bhagavan told you, remember me. That's it. So, remember him in all things. While we are living in the world, we can't run away from the world. We will have our family. We will have everything around us. But even while living in the world, we have to think, Bhagavan has kept me in this situation. Bhagavan has to be the center of our home. Bhagavan has to be the center of our everyday activity. He is the center. Bhagavan has kept me in this home. Bhagavan has given me this family. I have to serve them in the best proper way so that Bhagavan is happy. These people may like me or might not like me. Who cares? You try your best, but I'm telling you, when you work so sincerely for Bhagavan, keep me Bhagavan in the center, everybody starts liking you. Because your work will be so sincere, that sincerity, that vibe will come through you. So everybody will love you. So we work, and in the end we give it to Bhagavan. So we live in this world like that. We do all our work sincerely surrendering to God. And then when we get free time, we remember God. And if we live in that consciousness all throughout, then when we leave the body, we're living in God consciousness. Our work is done. One of the ways to live practically. Second is always keep chanting God's name. If you cannot chant God's name, hear God's name. Through kirtan, through bhajan. Whatever can remind you of his beautiful form, practice that. Don't leave that. It's not that you should not enjoy the world, okay? You should enjoy the world. You should maintain a balance. When we read chapter 6, remember this. Sometimes what happens, people create an imbalance in their life. When they hear these lectures, they get, from now onwards, no hearing Bollywood songs. From now onwards, no watching TV. From now onwards, no mixing with the materialistic world. No, you cannot live like that. Bhagavan has told, yuktahara viharasya. You have to have some recreation also. Because the mind will get very tired. till it is full time in that zone, okay? So don't go very extreme in anything. Sometime take it out. Enjoy. If you want to watch a movie, watch. No problem. I go watch movies. But every scene I see, I'm like, wow, Bhagwan, nice. Good Maya. And when I come out from the movie, I'm like, okay, Bhagwan's movie. Sometimes I have to tell my mind, because my mind is whole day into God, whole day these topics only. So sometimes I have to force my mind, okay, 1 hour you're not going to think. So I have to tell my mind, 1 hour recreation, worldly recreation. Sometimes I go out, my friends call me, okay, another 3 hours, worldly recreation. So mind knows. 3 hours later, the mind will say, okay, go back to God. So we practice this continuous. And live in the world normally. Don't become like, let people not say, oh, being spiritual means like being boring like this. No, don't be like that. You be the most happiest person, the most presentable person. When you're in the world, just be like them. Externally, full. Talk like them, no problem. Internally, Bhagwan, you must never forget. That balance you will have to develop. I develop it. I have developed it. It took some time to develop that. But practically, I started developing it. So in the beginning, I took a little break from everybody. But then later on, slowly go into the world, mixing with the world. But even if I mix with the world, that internal awareness of God does not go away. And when I mix it with the world, I always think that Bhagwan has put me in this situation. Maybe these people will get some guidance. I meet people who are drinking. And with their glass in the hand, they'll be asking me, so what is there in Gita? And I'm in my head and thinking, whatever I talk to you now, you're not going to remember the next day. But still, I remember Prabhupada. Prabhupada is singing Hare Krishna Mahamantra. He went to one rock concert at that time. Some big rock singer was there. I don't remember his name, Alan, something like that. And everybody is in drugs. And Prabhupada is singing Kirtan. So I remember like that. Okay, Prabhupada said, whatever the situation is, if God has put me here, let me speak about God. I have, through such companies, such association also is where I spoke God, I have converted people. They have left non-veg and drinking. So this is how you mix up in the world. Keep a very attractive personality. Talk like them. But eventually, your God-conscious personality will come out and speak. They'll start liking you. So maintain that balance. Maintain that balance all the time. Internally, remembering God. Externally, behaving like how people want you to be. This world is also not a different place. Never consider, oh, this world is Maya, this world is this. People talk like that in spirituality, but don't. I tell you, don't do like that. This world is also Bhagwan's Prakriti, Mool Prakriti. This world is Bhagwan's play. I never find anything wrong in this world. Because everything belongs to Bhagwan. Bhagwan has given happiness. Bhagwan has given forgetfulness. Bhagwan has given so much good things to us. Bhagwan has given sadness for us to remember him. Bhagwan has given happiness for us to remember him. Everything is made so that we can remember him. Okay, so this is what Bhagwan is saying. Whoever at the end of his life quits his body, remembering me alone, at once attains my nature. Of this there is no doubt. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavan, tyajatante kalevaram, tam tam teveti konteya sada tad bhava bhavitaha. Whatever state of being one remembers, when he quits his body, O son of Kunti, that state he will attain without fail. Then how we should live? Bhagwan is now giving the sutra. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yudhya maya arpit mano buddhe mameva shasya sanchayah. This is what I spoke for now. Under all circumstances, O Arjuna, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna. And at the same time, you carry out your prescribed duties. How? With your activities dedicated to me. Underline these shlokas. These are guiding points for you. How to live in this world. all time, Bhagavan says, I acknowledge you are fighting your battles, everyday battles. You're not fighting like Arjuna. Arjuna is going to kill so many people. Imagine Arjun's state of mind, and he does not want to. Our battles are not as big as Arjun. We have some office politics to deal with, some family politics to deal with, some family things to deal with. That's all. So kiddish. Bhagavan says, at all time, think of me. At the same time, carry out your prescribed duty of fighting. With your activities dedicated to me, and your mind and intelligence fixed on me, you will attain me without doubt. This is his practical solution. Think of me all the time. And how will he do that? Abhyas yoga yuktena chetasa nanyagamina paramam purusham divyam yati partha anuchintayan. He says, he uses the word abhyas yoga. Practice. I spoke about how I practiced. Practice. He who meditates on me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his mind constantly engaged in remembering me. Mind constantly engaged. Externally, you're doing some work, surrender to God. Mind constantly engaged in him. Even if you're living in the world, this world is Bhagavan's place. Bhagavan has sent me to help so many people here and there. That's it. Every day you get up like that. Whoever comes to you, they need your help. Bhagavan has sent this person. For Bhagavan, I'm doing this work. Finish. You remembered God. He who meditates on me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his mind constantly engaged in remembering me, undeviated from the path, is sure to reach me. Kavim Purana Manushashitaram Anoraniya Samanusmaredyam Yaha Sarvasya Dhataram Achintya Rupam Aditya Varnam Tamasa Parasthat. How should one meditate? One should meditate upon me, the Supreme Person, as the one who knows everything, as he is the oldest, who is the controller, who is smaller than the smallest, who is the maintainer of everything, who is beyond all material conception, who is inconceivable, who is always a person. He is luminous like a man, and he is luminous like the sun. He is transcendental beyond this material nature. So Bhagavan is giving meditation. What is the meditation? You remember God as he is always there. He is the oldest. He is the controller of everything. Your situations, you may feel, oh, this is out of control. I'm not able to control my situations. Remember God. He is controlling everything. Everything will be in place. He is doing everything. He knows everything. Whatever the situation is, I don't know what is going to happen in future. My best friend Krishna knows everything. So everything is going to be good. Tell yourself like this. This is how you meditate. Everything is going to be good. He is the maintainer of everything. I don't know how I'm going to take care of my future. What will happen tomorrow? God only knows. Yes, true. Don't just make it a statement. Believe in it. God knows. God is a maintainer of everything. He is going to maintain. So everything is going to be perfect. My life is going to be perfect. Whether I'll be able to achieve this or not, don't worry. You may find it very difficult. But God, my best friend, Krishna, my best friend, he is beyond all this. He has everything in control. Oh, who has seen Bhagavan? No, Bhagavan is always there. Krishna talking to you. He is a person. Bhagavan is always there. He's talking to you through this Gita. So remember him as a person, as a form. Bhagavan is given here. Sarvasya dhataram achintya rupam aditya varnam tamasa parasthat. And he is as luminous as the sun. No matter how the situation is so dark, beyond anything, you might feel everything is just slipping out of your hand. So what? Your ray of hope is Bhagavan. And that Bhagavan is shining bright as the sun. So there is no darkness in life anymore. Bhagavan is with me. So he is luminous like the sun. He is transcendental beyond this material nature. Prayana kale, and now he is giving techniques for leaving the body. This technique is specifically for the sannyasis and the munis. Okay, those who have practiced throughout their life, the yoga technique given in chapter 6, or meditation on the nirakar, or you call the superconscious energy. Okay, they don't want to believe in any form, so they are believing in that superconscious energy, omnipresent energy. They only chant the mantra Om Parabrahma. So when they are leaving their body, how they should leave their body? Bhagavan says, Prayana kale manasa chalena bhaktya yukto yoga balena chaiva bhruvor madhye pranamaveshya samyak satam param purusham upayati divyam. One who at the time of death fixes his life air between the eyebrows and by the strength of yoga with an undeviating mind engages himself in remembering the Supreme Lord in full devotion will certainly achieve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If you can remember this at the time of death, you can practice, no problem. But for that, you have to do it while living. I have told you, when I used to meditate when as a child, when my father started teaching me, he used to teach only one thing. When you meditate, become like a Shiva. And where does Shiva think? Shiva sits in a graveyard, cemetery. You must think like everything is dead and sit like him peacefully. Shiva has smeared himself with the ashes. To remind, when you see Shiva, this body is going to become ashes one day. Sit like that, without any disturbance. Practice yourself. So when you have practiced every day, okay, every day is like this only. What is death then? You have made so much friendship with death. You're so familiar with death. This body is anyway going to be ash. Spirit with ash, what is the problem? So prayana kale manasa chalena bhaktya yoga yukto yoga balena chaiva. And then when you meditate like this, you have taken all your attention on the eyebrows here. And then you are practicing your meditation. So when at the time of death, even if you're lying on the deathbed, if you have done this throughout your life, you will take it there. All your pranavayu, all your air, you will take it there and you'll be practicing. You will live your body through this. So this is for practice for the munis, those who have practiced like that. So fix your life air between the eyebrows and by the strength of the yoga with an undeviating mind, engage yourself in remembering the Supreme Lord here, and that person will attain this sthiti, this position. That person will attain Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yadaksharam veda vido vadanti vishanti yadyatayo vitaraga yadichanto brahmacharyam charanti tate padam sangrahen pravakshe. Persons who are learned in Vedas, who utter Onkar, and who are great sages in the renounced order, enter into the Brahman, desiring such perfection. One practices celibacy. Here the word is given celibacy, but the actual word is brahmacharya. Brahmacharya means the same thing. You are always meditating on that Brahma, whether he is a form or not form. Usually these people, they will meditate on Onkar, the sound. Okay, the sound. And God is Nirakar. So you are meditating on that formless and you are meditating on the sound. And the sound given here is Onkar. So that sound you meditate on. That sound Onkar is a anhad, it's a anhad sound. It is an unstruck sound. When we speak, we have to strike something. If I clap, till now there was no sound, but I clapped and a sound came. Am I clapping the sound came? No, the sound was always there. I clapped it and I created it. I created a different sound like this. I hit something else, a different sound will come. The sound is always there, but different frequencies, different modulations are coming by the way I hit. So this hitting is giving me a proof that sound was always there. By hitting, I produced it. So that sound which is always there, ethereal sound, it's there in the ether. That sound is anhad. It is everywhere. To hear it, the closest sound, is the sound of the wind when you go on the top of the mountains, or the sound of the ocean. When you're sitting on the shore of the ocean, you'll hear some loud sound. Especially in the night when there is no crowd, you should go and sit near the ocean and hear that sound. And merge yourself in that sound. That sound is anhad. It is there. So that which is there outside is there inside you also. And the area from where you can hear the sound is from your heart. Heart and up. Consciousness. When your consciousness is purified, you can hear this sound. That sound is called as Omkar. So those who have practiced this, so there are different yogas. In Samadhi, you hear the sound. There are practices. People close their, you will see old pictures of sadhus. They are sitting with a wood. They'll keep it like this, and they've kept their ears like this. So they're hearing that sound from the right ear. Practicing. Lay yoga. Nad yoga. Or you close everything here. Okay, you close your eyes and everything. And with this tragus of the ear, you close this also. And you hear some sound. So initially you will hear some sound. That is a different sound. But it goes on becoming subtle. You'll hear the sound of the flute. You'll hear the sound of a drum. You might hear the sound of crickets. You might hear the sound of gong. You'll hear different sounds at different times. But the more you practice, especially on the right ear, the more you practice, you'll hear the sound of Om. Omkar. People, that anhad which is happening inside and outside, we try to recreate it. So to recreate it, we say, oh, it sounds like sound like that. Sound like that. Now I'm not doing anything. I'm just modulating the wind inside me. It's called Omkar. So people started Om. That sound has different forms. So Nirakar Brahma, that is called Nirakar Brahma. So this Nirakar Brahma means formless Brahma. This formless Brahma is indicated by this sound, Omkar. That Omkar sound is a sound which is unstruck. That Nirakar Brahma, which is unseen, sometimes take a form. He comes like Ram. So Ram's Bij mantra is Ram or Rang. So that Om, that Nirakar Brahma has now come in the form, and that is called Ram. So Ram's Bij mantra and that Omkar Bij mantra are the same. Then when sadhus started meditating more, so some said, oh, we hear the Om, but from where it started? I was not able to hear earlier, now I'm able to hear it clearly. So they say it starts from your navel. That is the seat. Most people, 99.99%, only leaving the yogis, everybody is leaving their energy, their consciousness is always below the navel, feeding and sex. That's all. So the consciousness is below the navel. But for a yogi, when you are going on the spiritual path, the consciousness starts going above the navel. So navel is the center of fire energy. Food digests here. When you are in sexual thoughts, heat generates in the body. Navel. But that energy of heat is going down, wasting. But when you are thinking about God and thinking of all these things, you will see you have controlled your eating habits. So food habits are controlled. Your sexual appetite will also be controlled. If food is controlled, your sexual appetite is controlled. That will also be controlled. And more you're meditating, you're becoming lighter and lighter. So that sound you will see is rising from the navel. And what is the Bij mantra for the navel? Rang. ram. So that anhad, that unstruck that you are hearing, starts from here. It starts going up, 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 and it becomes finer and finer. So it started from the ram bijman. Starts from here, goes up. So that arankar becomes omkar. So ram and om, they're carrying the same sound. They're carrying the same fire energy, the spiritual fire energy. So that is why omkar, rarankar, or om and Bhagavan Ram, and om and the fire element are one. So the fire element, when it gets activated in your navel, that is carrying the energy all the way up, and then you are going all the way up to your sky element, which is the ethereal element, and you are connected to the omkar. So rang becomes om becomes ram, rang becomes om becomes rang. When we are in the world, this omkar becomes rankar, and when we are in that connected in that world, this rankar becomes omkar. So this is the cycle. When you are connected with that Supreme Parabrahma, omkar. When you are in the world, rankar. So subtle energies, subtle sounds. So we try to tell it, but these are just sounds. So anyways, so this was just a meditation while we are living, okay? But when you are dying, all this meditation is not going to work. The practice of concentration that you have done, focusing here, that practice of concentration is going to work. So at the time of deathbed, if you have practiced throughout, automatically your energy will all go up and you leave your body. So here that is what Bhagavan is saying. Persons who are learned in Vedas, who utter Omkar, and who are great sages in renounced order, enter into that Brahman, desiring such perfection. One practices celibacy. I shall now briefly explain to you this process by which one may attain salvation. Sarvadvarani sanyamya manoridya niruddhya cha murdhane adhyayatmanah pranama astito yoga dharanam. The yogic situation is that of detachment from all sensual engagements. I told you how the sensual engagement detachment will happen. Food, control your food, number one. In the society in which you move, control the food of your ears. Right thoughts, right actions. Chapter 6, we have discussed everything. Practice shil, practice pragya, wisdom. And then you reach to this stage. So the yogic situation is that of detachment from all sensual engagements, closing all the doors of the senses and fixing the mind on the heart and life air at the top. One establishes himself in the yoga. So Bhagavan has given this process too. And then Om iti ekaksharam brahma vyavharan mam anusmaran ya prayati tejandeha sayati paramam gatim. And Bhagavan says now one more thing he has given. He's like Om iti ekaksharam. Just remember that one akshar Om, one word Om, and along with that mam anusmara. Remember me. That Om and me are non-different. Omkar and Ram are non-different. Omkar and Krishna are non-different. Here he has said that clearly, very clearly he has said. Om iti ekaksharam brahma. Brahma is that Om. But that is only me. Vyaharan. Okay? Vyaharan mam anusmara. Keep chanting Om and remember me at the time of death. Even to the yogi he is telling. You might have practiced Omkar, but the time of death, Mam, the word here is given, form. He's saying, keep chanting the word Om and remember me. Om iti ekaksharam, shloka number 13. Iti ekaksharam brahma vyaharan. Vyaharan means vibrating. Mam anusmaran, remember me. Ya prayati tejandeha sayati paramamgata. The one who thinks of the Supreme Personality in this way and quits his body, he will certainly reach to the spiritual planets. Ananya cheta satatam yo mam smarati nityashah tasyaham sulabha partha nityayuktasya yoginaha. So Bhagavan says that was for the yogi, but the other people who are always remembering me without doing all this Brahma, Om, Nirakar, nothing, they are not doing anything. They're always remembering me. Bhagavan says to them, Ananya cheta satatam, Ananya. Without deviation, they are only thinking of me. For one who always remembers me without deviation, I am easy to obtain. O son of Pritha, because of his constant engagement in devotional service, because he is in bhakti. Here it is written. Ananya cheta satatam yo mam, the one who remembers me. Smarati, smarati means remembers nityashah, forever, eternally. Tasyaham sulabha partha, I am very easy for them to attain. Nityayuktasya yoginaha. And these people are yogis too. So one is a dhyana yogi, that yogi, and one is the one practical yogi like us, who are always thinking about God. One says, I am very easy to achieve. Ma, and what happens when somebody achieves me? Ma mupatya punarjanma dukhalayam ashashvatam nani upvanti mahatmana sansiddhim paramam gatim. After attaining me, the great souls who are yogis in devotion never return to this temporary life, temporary world, which is full of miseries, and because they have attained the highest perfection. Okay. So why we have to do all these things? We have to do all these things to come out of this place which is full of miseries. So Bhagavan has given two ways. One is the way of remembering the Nirakar. Okay. And the other way is remembering him as Sakar, him, who, the one Krishna who is taking this riding chariot. Okay. So that Krishna, we have to remember him. And Bhagavan says, if somebody is remembering me, it is very easy to come to my place. And then he says, why we should do that? Because after attaining me, you won't come back to this world. This world is, he has written one word, dukhalayam. Dukhalayam means this world is full of miseries. Yet, this is ashashvatam, this is temporary. So remember these two words. It is because when he says full of misery, your question will be, why Bhagavan did he put me here? Bhagavan says, okay, I put you there, but this is temporary. Remember that. If you remember this is temporary, then you will not find it miserable. You will find it enjoyable. You will know it is just a picture. So Bhagavan gives both ways. So you can understand it however you want to understand it. I understand it in this way. Okay, this world is full of miseries. So what? This is temporary. This misery will come, that misery will go. And this world is temporary anyway, so why take it seriously? So this world is dukhalayam, this world is ashashvatam. So don't take anything seriously. You have been put here. This is temporary. Just enjoy and leave this world happily. How will you leave this world happily? By remembering God. By remembering God, what will happen? You will not come back to this stupid world again. None. Bhagavan says, why? After attaining me, you have attained the highest perfection. That's it. So we'll end up this chapter here. Tomorrow we will take up the rest of the shlokas. Bhagavan will talk at different muhurat when we leave this body and how they will how they help us. Only very few shlokas, but we will take it tomorrow. Okay. I will take your comments and then we'll end it up. Okay, Ma, your work is so much superior than any other work, job, guiding all us in our spiritual journey. Koti pranam. Jai Guru Ma, Sai Lakshmi. Is it correct understanding to say that the rituals are all important? Sadhana also very important. But like you have pointed out, detachment to worldly relationship and attachment to Radha and Krishna is the goal of sadhana. Not everyone was helpful. And is to put us on track. How can I check myself if I'm moving towards the goal or if I'm distracted by some attachments? Sometimes I think, oh, I'm not attached. I'm just doing my duty. What is the litmus test from your experience, man? The only thing is, I told you, I never keep testing. Everything I see as God's expansion. My duties are also my duties for God. My attachments are also my attachment to Bhagavan. If I love my people, I'm loving Bhagavan. I'm giving that love to Bhagavan. Bhagavan has come in so many forms and loving me. I'm loving Bhagavan. So if you ask me, there is no guilty at all. There is no question at all. I am loving everybody. Why? Because in everyone I see Bhagwan. In the night when I sleep, I am very peaceful. I'm very thankful. There is no confusion in my head. There's no confusion in my head. This moment, if I get up and if I don't take my mala and chant, I will not feel guilty at all. I'm telling you. Oh, I missed my mala today. I will not feel guilty now. Because that moment also, I serve people. I'm serving people. If I'm doing my gardening outside, I'm serving Bhagwan. Whatever I'm doing, I'm serving Bhagwan. So beyond all these sadhanas and everything, your highest goal has to be serving Bhagwan. And in all forms, So take everything as the representation of Bhagwan. Then you will never feel like this. Okay. So my attachments, my detachment, whatever it is, Bhagwan, you have put me in this stage. I'm serving everybody. I want to make you happy. My truthfulness is to you. And if I have to come back again, so what? I'm telling you, Gita made me go beyond this thought also. Whether death, I don't care. Whether again birth, I don't care. Because now I have known how to love you under all circumstances. So if you can develop that, this question should not come. Okay? This confusion should not come in your mind. So do your sadhana, but practice this every day. Loving God in all forms, in all situations, under every circumstances, with everyone. All right. So even though people who don't really value us or what we do in their life, who take us for granted, we can internalize that Bhagwan sent him or her to do his seva in that person's form. Yes. You do your seva. Ma manusmar yuddhacha. You do your seva and you are out of it. When we say, even though people who don't really value us, somewhere we are expecting something from them. We have to rise above this expectation. This is what is being taught. They came, you as your nature, help them. They as their nature behave, that whatever they wanted to behave. Let them behave as per their nature. We are in godly nature. We are developing godly nature. We want to go back to Krishna. Krishna is taking this much time and explaining us the Gita to call us to him. So we have to change our nature. No expectations. Krishna is giving us so much every day. How much do we give him in return? Nothing. And if Krishna starts thinking, what's the point? I gave so much Gita, but they don't value us, value me. Does Krishna have any expectation? No. He does his work. I gave so much, but they don't value my words. They don't even look at my Gita. There are so many people in the world. Everybody has Gita. They keep it in their home. And what if Krishna thinks, what's the point of giving them Gita? They don't even value me. He won't think like that. He will go beyond. Okay, anytime you come, whenever you are ready to come to me, I will give you everything. I will not consider your past actions also. Because Krishna doesn't take anything to heart. So when we are Krishnaized, we have to become like that. We have to learn. There's a statement called neki kar, darya mein dal. Do good to others and do not have any expectation. Forget about it. How they are behaving, it's their nature. God bless them all. We don't. Okay. So we have to always serve and dedicate it to Bhagwan under all circumstances. Listening to you about Nath Sadhana is always a pleasure, Ma. It's so cool to see Bhagwan talk about these methods in Gita. Yes. Jai Guru Ma, I will listen to my question answer on YouTube as I have a meeting now. Okay, no worries. It's only through your grace that both Nirakara and Sakara aspect of Bhagwan made complete sense to me, Ma. Truly, no one can repay the grace of the Guru. Only you have the power to bring together such sadhanas together in harmony. Of course, overall, credit goes to Bhagwan. Now I am happy. When you wrote that statement, I was going to say, Bhagwan did it. And you wrote it. Yes, overall credit goes to Bhagwan. How beautifully he has given us Gita. Everything is given. So nice. All right. Blessings to all of you. And we will see you in the next class. May all your day and night be Krishnamay and Lilitamay. Jai Ma.
Jai Ma.
Thank you, Ma.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Ma.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol.